Cassandra Scott softly glided her fingers over the embossed gold lettering once more before she tossed the invitation from last weekend's wedding into the nearby trash bin. Another wedding, another bride, someone else's happiness. Cassandra sighed as she looked around her home. It wasn't much, but it was hers. She had started saving in high school, and when she got a full-ride scholarship to a prestigious college in Virginia, she had put her savings towards buying a home. At 23, she'd bought the 2-bedroom Rambler, while most of her friends were fifth-year seniors or running down the aisle to get hitched. Since then, Cassandra had spent almost every weekend working on the compact space to make it the home she hoped someday soon she would share with that special someone. So far, it seemed like she was just destined to be a bridesmaid and never a bride. A wilting bouquet of blush pink roses on the kitchen table caught her eye. Cassandra shook her head. It had only been 2 days since Ione's wedding. The flowers should not be dying already, especially not for how much Ione paid for them. Cassandra had already been to 4 weddings in the last 3 months, each with its own style and flower budget. Only one bouquet had made it beyond the 5-day mark, and those were tulips. Cassandra knew right then and there that tulips would be the only flowers she would have in her wedding. She wondered if the reason she was still alone had something to do with her, like maybe something was wrong with her. Maybe she was the problem. After all, she was the common denominator. Cassandra had been to countless weddings, and she had been a bridesmaid more times than she could count on both hands. She had dated some, but it seemed like none of the relationships ever lasted longer than a couple of months. She was starting to wonder what she figured most single women just 4 short years away from 30 wondered. When is it going to be my turn? Cassandra pulled the dying flowers out of the vase and threw them in the compost bin. Then she cleaned out the vase and placed it back under the sink. She poured herself a glass of Pinot Grigio and looked at the wall calendar. At least there were no weddings or wedding-related events for the upcoming weekend. Maybe she could go to the local farmer's market and get herself some flowers that would last longer than 2 or 3 days. Cassandra curled up on the love seat, sipping her wine, and trying hard not to feel sorry for herself. It wasn't just pity or loneliness. She felt like she had missed out on the life she was meant to have. Every wedding reminded her of the road not taken, and the melancholy of that lost path seeped into every part of her. It was especially hard right now because she didn't even get asked once to dance at Ione's reception. Almost everyone at the wedding had brought a date, but the handful who didn't come with anyone just didn't seem to be interested in her. It wasn't like she was ugly or anything. She just didn't stand out. Nothing about her was memorable. Before Cassandra could spiral any further down into a black hole of pity and self-loathing, someone lightly knocked on her door. At first, she did not hear it. Then they knocked a little louder. She set her wine on the coffee table and stood up. "Just a minute," she said forcefully as she made her way to the door. She checked the peephole and saw a man in a tannish-brown uniform. He looked like a delivery driver, although she could not make out what the delivery service was. She could not remember if she had ordered anything or not, but she seemed to always be getting some kind of package here or there. Cassandra unlocked the deadbolt and opened the door. "Can I help you?" she asked, trying to sound polite but hurried, like she had somewhere to be. She had read somewhere that single women living alone should always appear busy when they answer the door for strangers, like maybe they were not home alone after all. She hadn't had much practice, but she gave it a try anyway. "I have a package for Cassandra Scott," the man said, his eyes covered by a matching tannish brown, nondescript baseball cap. She dropped her guard a little